As Trump sells an Iran peace deal, a U.S. F-35 suddenly blasts an emergency alarm over the UAE. Trump's flagship stealth jet suffers a serious technical snag and squawks code 7700, exposing vulnerabilities just when Washington wants to look tough. After the Apache crash, another frontline U.S. warplane runs into trouble, raising doubts as Trump talks about peace. A U.S. Air Force F-35 flying over the UAE briefly squawked emergency code 7700, indicating a serious in-flight issue. Reports said the code pointed to a major technical snag, raising questions over the jet's reliability amid high regional tension. The incident occurred while Iran-U.S. tensions remained high after recent strikes and counterstrikes across the region. At the same time, Trump said a U.S. Iran Memorandum of Understanding could be signed within days, signaling an active diplomatic track. Trump has signaled that a U.S. Iran Memorandum of Understanding could be signed within days, according to reporting by Axios. Negotiators have reportedly reached a tentative text after conducting talks in Tehran, suggesting that the main political parameters of the Memorandum of Understanding are already agreed. The deal is expected to set up a framework to address Iran's stockpile of enriched uranium, focusing first on principles and mechanisms rather than detailed technical steps. U.S. officials have indicated that downblending enriched uranium inside Iran remains one of the options on the table for managing that stockpile. Any concrete, technical steps on Iran's nuclear program are expected to require a follow-on, second agreement that would build on this initial framework. Under the draft deal, ceasefire is expected to be extended for 60 days, including in Lebanon. Strait of Hormuz to be opened immediately without tolls. U.S. to lift its naval blockade in the Hormuz Strait. Framework on Iran's enriched uranium stockpile is expected to be discussed. Iran is expected to commit to never acquiring a nuclear weapon. Enriched uranium may be diluted inside Iran under UN supervision. Iran could get sanctions waivers on oil sales for 60 days. Reports say the current draft has been approved at high levels in Iran's leadership, but likely has not yet received final sign-off from Supreme Leader Mojtaba. Meanwhile, Trump has said he expects a signing ceremony to take place around June 13th to 14th, pointing to a very near-term political timeline. 4 C-17 transport planes reportedly left for Europe on June 11th to make travel arrangements for Vice President Vance and associated delegations. The American Vice President may travel to Geneva in the coming days for a signing ceremony, if the schedule and final approvals hold. Notably, Qatar and Pakistan jointly mediated the proposed accord, with their key facilitation role becoming clear on June 10th. If concluded, the Memorandum of Understanding is expected to be known as the Islamabad Agreement, underscoring Pakistan's central role as a host and mediator. Qatari mediator Ali Al-Thawadi is reported to have held extensive contacts with U.S. envoys throughout the talks, helping bridge gaps between Washington and Tehran. Trump on June 11 said he would like the United States to take control of Iran's main oil export hub, Kharg Island, openly floating the idea in an interview. Speaking to Fox News, Trump argued that capturing Kharg Island would be better than striking civilian infrastructure inside Iran, presenting it as a more focused military option. Kharg Island is the centerpiece of Iran's energy export network and a critical source of government revenue, handling the bulk of the country's offshore oil shipments. However, Trump acknowledged that any move to seize the island could face domestic opposition in the United States, given the risks and potential costs involved. He said he was unsure whether Americans currently have the appetite for a costly new military operation that could demand significant resources and time. Military analysts note that capturing and holding Kharg would require a large-scale ground deployment, going far beyond air or naval strikes alone. Such an operation could place thousands of U.S. troops in direct confrontation with Iranian forces on and around the island, sharply raising the risk of escalation. Meanwhile, Republican Senator Lindsey Graham strongly endorsed the idea of targeting Kharg, backing Trump's suggestion as a serious option. Graham said that gaining control of Kharg, either through outright force or via sustained blockade, could fundamentally transform the course of the conflict with Iran. According to Graham, Combining pressure on Kharg with maintaining security in the Strait of Hormuz would give the United States major leverage over Tehran's economy and strategy. He also warned that time was running short and urged rapid action if ongoing peace talks with Iran failed to produce results. Trump claimed that Iran was dying to make a deal and was under intense military pressure from recent U.S. actions. He argued that Tehran was already in a position of submission despite continuing resistance and counterstrikes from Iranian forces. However, Iran has maintained that it is ready to fight back against any U.S. ground troops that might move toward its territory or key assets. Iranian Parliament Speaker Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf said Iran is waiting for the arrival of U.S. troops on the ground to set them on fire, issuing a stark warning against any invasion of Kharg or other areas. Iran spent months preparing for a potential U.S. attack on Kharg Island, according to CNN, a period of sustained fortification during which Tehran moved forces and material to strengthen the island's defenses against any imminent operation. Iran reinforced Kharg Island with additional troops, layered air defense systems, and mobile missile units, measures intended to deter or defeat amphibious or aerial assaults and to protect critical export infrastructure from damage. Anti-personnel and anti-armor mines were deployed along beaches where U.S. forces might attempt to land, a precaution designed to slow invading units, channel movement into kill zones, and raise the costs of any seaborne assault. Kharg Island is one of Iran's most strategic energy hubs and a critical node for its oil exports, hosting terminals and storage facilities whose disruption will have immediate and severe effects on Tehran's ability to sell and move crude. Taking control of the island would sever a key economic lifeline for the IRGC, the BBC reports, depriving the organization of oil revenues and complicating Tehran's capacity to fund proxy networks and military operations abroad. Security analysts quoted by the BBC argue that Iran's overall ability to conduct sustained war would be significantly hampered if Kharg were neutralized, since the loss of export infrastructure would undermine logistics, revenues, and strategic flexibility. The island could also serve as a forward platform for U.S. forces to launch strikes or exert influence across the Strait of Hormuz, giving any occupying power operational reach to interdict shipping or target Iranian facilities. Seizing Kharg would offer the United States leverage to pressure Iran into keeping the Strait of Hormuz open, a strategic choke point whose security is vital to global energy flows and regional stability.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that we will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest news makers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the U.S. will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry guards.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HD videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.